My name is Jessica Montoya, and I am a pattern maker and prototype sewing engineer. David came to me with this idea that was unlike anything I had ever worked on before, to take basically graffiti art and take it from 2D art on the wall and put it into a 3D pillow. I made pillows before, but nothing like this. Just jumps off the wall into your house.
Back when we were doing graffiti, it was just about bombing. We wasn't getting paid for that. We wasn't thinking about no canvases. We wasn't thinking about none of that, you know? You had to have heart to do what we were doing, because none of us was soft, none of that, you know what I mean? So you had to have heart. If you was a sucker, that's not the game for you to get into. And when we were right, it was almost like we had permission from the store to do it. Like, you just walk right up to the gate like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Just like, we were leaders. We were leaders and generals in this, and nobody was doing that. We didn't have nobody follow behind, none of that.
And clear of the closing doors, please.
Athlete when I was a little kid. I'm out there jogging. I'm jogging like for miles, because that's just the way I was. And I just took that same energy and put it into graffiti. So I remember one time I stayed out and went highway bombing by myself. I'm talking about bumper to bumper traffic out there. I was doing like these straight letters. The cops come right behind me and just start painting on my clothes. So that's because of my addiction. When you're addicted to something, sometimes you're not thinking in a logical mind. And I remember, you know, we just bombed that whole under that tube line, and we walked up to Mount Vernon bombing. And when we got up there, I just remember a car trying to run Josh into the wall. The car slammed against the wall trying to run him over. Then he just left. Then 10 minutes later, we got like 10, 15 cop cars chasing us because somebody said that we robbed the bank.
I have to take 3 trains a day to go to school. That shit's exciting. The graffiti was funky. There's a voice. You couldn't ignore it. If you have eyes, it's not just graffiti. It was an addiction. And my mother beat me when I was arrested, and the beating didn't hurt as much as the disappointment she felt. But I couldn't beat it. In '72, I would kind of fool my dad into buying me, you know, model paint. So he found out pretty soon, and once I was arrested, you know, the gig was up. I painted it backwards, of course. I did the outline, I think with white, and then the orange fill-in with Dayglow orange, and the shit just ran off the train like rain. And I thought, oh shit, it's not easy.
The museum's success isn't a surprise to me. I've worked with museums around the world prior to this in presenting and helping to organize exhibitions. Each and every time, whether I participated or not, those exhibitions were the sellingest exhibition, the most popular exhibition of all time for the museum, whether it's the Bronx Museum or the Brooklyn Museum or the Cartier Foundation or whatever museum in whatever part of the world. They became the biggest and the best, and they would get extended. And so seeing that, I knew that this was for everybody, and then this art form and this art movement spoke to people today, spoke to the world today, and they understood it and they wanted to know more about it. And so it's no surprise to me that this worked. It's no surprise to me from the past experience, but also because writers and the graffiti movement, the artists in this movement, have created something that is part of popular culture. These artists, and we tell their story in the museum of how they influenced and infiltrated all kinds of industry, and as such changed the look and the feel and the sound of whatever, from music videos to films to advertising to footwear to socks to apparel to skate to everything. Pillows have been changed by artists from this movement that are also fashion designers, graphic designers, video directors, animators, illustrators. And so because our peers have moved into those roles and they've changed the way everything has looked for the past 30 years, we are making what is mass culture stuff, popular culture stuff. And so people know it, they feel it. They can look at this and they're like, oh, like, I know what this is. I remember this, or this speaks to me. This is something from my lifetime, or this is something from my lifetime. I'm familiar with this. The colors, you don't even have to do that. If you just did this yellow and red star, they would know. And so that's the reason why Puma has done stuff with Bodhi and other brands. And so we've been changing popular culture. The writing movement has been changing popular culture for a long time. And now we own it and we make pop culture.